I know it's spelled Olija, but it's Olija. The game is pronounced Olija. This is one of the last things I learned about it, so it's going to be one of the first things you learn about it. And it's a very stylish 2D platformer by Skeleton Crew Studios. Players take on the role of Farraday, a ship captain who gets lost at sea with his crew and suddenly happens upon a legendary harpoon that has really cool powers. You can throw the harpoon, call it back to you. You can throw the harpoon and zip to it. It's pretty neat. And before we get too far into how neat this harpoon really is in Olija, my name is Dan and welcome to my YouTube channel. I use this space to talk about video games, and if that's something you like hearing about, do yourself a favor and subscribe. So let's get right into it and talk about what I think of Olija based on the game's free demo on Steam. And you heard me right, you can play this game for free if you want to try it out first on Steam. I think that's a really good thing for developers to do. Demos are starting to make a comeback, and I love that because it gives you a chance to actually play the game rather than get seduced by its art, although I was very quickly seduced by Olija's art. All that being said, the demo does do a great job of showing off what really feels cool about Olija, the platforming, the graphics, and the storytelling as well. And the cornerstone item of both the platforming and the action in this game is the harpoon that I mentioned earlier. The harpoon gives the players so much command over the two-dimensional space, and it's just really a great way to mix up the gameplay because you throw the harpoon, you've used its ability, but now you've got to call it back to you. Maybe you're getting attacked by an enemy and you can't really do that. Regardless, it's just a really cool element to have in the game at all times. And as I mentioned earlier, the harpoon's not only used for combat, but it's also used for traversal, so I can really see this game opening up a lot of platforming puzzles. The game's controls are really tight, the feedback is very immediate, and that's not just because it's built well, it's also because the animations and the sound just make this feel so satisfying to play. Satisfying is probably the best way to describe Olija. It's just a really satisfying game. It's satisfying to look at, satisfying to listen to, and it's satisfying to play. Going back to the combat for a minute, there's also some secondary weapons that the demo shows off, one of which is a repeater gun, so you shoot little harpoons at enemies. There's also a sword that Farraday seems to come equipped with off the bat. I'm assuming there's going to be a ton of these, and they really do seem to be a good way to mix up the gameplay and perhaps even build your own way to play. For example, like I said, the repeater gun is a long-range weapon and the harpoon's long-range, so if you want to play fully long-range, that's one approach. On the other hand, we've got Faraday's sword, which allows you to get up close and personal with enemies, which also pairs nicely with the harpoon as you're always zipping towards enemies after you use it. And as of this recording, the game's not even out yet, so I don't know about any of the secondary weapons, but I can tell you there's probably going to be a bunch. It just seems like the kind of game that celebrates the player for trying new things and experimenting while giving you all the ingredients to do so. The next thing I want to talk about is how pretty Olija is. This game is gorgeous. I really can't say it better than that. You can look at the gameplay I'm showing you. The pixel graphics are nice. The storytelling is really tied together by the game's overall color palette and the way it looks. I mean, the characters look very simple, but they really are emotive of what they're trying to express. There's the enemies that are sluggish, they move around slowly, they're kind of scary to look at. Faraday's very heroic looking, looks like a captain of a ship. I totally buy that. And the other enemies in this game just look really unique and nice. I don't know how else to put it. The game's art's very thought about, it's very expressed, and it's just really gonna drive this game home for me. And based on some of the trailers that I've seen, Olija does feature more than one area, more than one color palette, more than one enemy type, so it will be cool to see how things get changed up and ultimately explore all these new areas. And we can't talk about the way this game looks without talking about the cinematic approach to storytelling that seems to be in play with Olija. The aesthetic of the whole game kind of reminds me of a mature version of Escape from Monkey Island. Rather than being fun, it's a little more serious, but still very stylish. So if you're looking for a good 2D platformer with a solid story and really nice art and presentation, then I think Olija is gonna be a game for you to check out. And that's about all I have left to say about Olija, but what do you think of this game? You're gonna play it, you're gonna buy it when it comes out? Have you been waiting for it this whole time? Is this the first time you're hearing about it? I have a lot of questions, so do me a favor and answer something in the comments. And if you like this video, if it turned you on to Olija, or if you agree with what I'm saying about the game, do me a favor and like the video. It's a great way to let me know that you like the video. And ultimately, if you like things like this, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. It's a great way to let me know that I should keep making content like this and that you like seeing things like this. I love talking about games that I'm excited about. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy Olija, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.